Good morning. My name is Lama Jigme Gyatso, and this video is being recorded in the middle of a live Skype class. That's why I'm recording it not on my computer, but on my smartphone. And by my smartphone, I mean the smartphone that has been given to me by a very kind individual. One of my students, Olaf, King of the Frozen North, has asked me what I'm drinking during class. Of course, that reminds me of a story from when I was a little boy. And on most Sunday afternoons, my two maternal grandparents would come over and play bridge with my mother and father. And my mother and father were surprisingly liberal when it came to illicit substances. Their idea was that if they demystified illicit substances and they let me sip from their alcohol, it would demystify them and I'd be less prone to drink as an adolescent. Also, the fact that my parents' dinner parties usually turned into drunken fights or drunken arguments also helped turn me off to alcohol. But I remember my grandmother would give me a sip of her 7-Up. It just didn't taste right. That's because it was half vodka. I assure you this does not contain even a drop of vodka. What it does contain is 1 tablespoon of organic apple cider vinegar, which you can get at most health food stores and even some grocery stores, and about 16 ounces or a half liter of purified water. I'm a simple fellow. I get purified water from a vending machine outside my local grocery store. I store it in glass vessels. I put them on top of heavy industrial magnets. My goal is to consume 16 cups or 8 pints of this concoction every day. It's been my experience when it comes to health or weight loss, there are 5 very important things. The first one is make water your beverage of choice. The second is intermittent fasting. Now, like most people, I'm a ganef, as we say in Yiddish, or a glutton, as we say in English. I like to eat. It's pleasurable. What I've found, and many people have found, is that if we limit ourselves to an eating window, eating window that's 8 hours long or less, and a fasting window that's 16 hours long or more, it's better for our body. Yes, we may consume the exact same number of calories, but it'll give our hormones time to do things that they normally couldn't do if we were snacking throughout the day. Now, I've explored this. When I first heard this, I was dubious about it because I didn't like the idea of going hungry. But I've experimented with my own body, and I found that my health, my strength, and my lucidity is really improved by limiting myself to an eating window. Now, being a Buddhist monk, Buddhist monks classically have an eating window from about pre-dawn to about 10:30, or any time before 12 noon. What many monks do is they limit themselves to just 1 meal a day, and that's basically a brunch, or to make it simpler, anytime they stop eating by noon. But Buddha gave exceptions to that. He said if a monk is ill, or if they're doing extra work, or traveling, and they're exerting themselves more, then they need to eat more. So Buddha was not uptight about this. He was actually very relaxed. Which is, the sad thing is many monks today are very uptight about that. And they'll say you can't be a monk if you medically need to eat more than once a day, even though Buddha taught the otherwise. And you could say there's no way you can thrive on one meal a day. I know many acupuncturists don't like that, but the fact is, the Shaolin monks have done quite well on one vegetarian meal a day. And if you've ever watched Kung Fu Theater, then you too have seen those guys do some awesome things. And so the third point that I practice, and I've had really good results with, is whole food, plant-based diet. It's more than a vegan diet, because vegan basically says, this is what I don't eat. I don't eat any animal products. What whole food, plant-based is saying is, I only eat plants, but whole plants. And let me give you an example of that. Brown rice would be a whole plant. White rice would not be a whole food. White rice flour would not be a whole food. Another example would be an olive. Olive, whole food. Olive oil, processed food or refined food, which really confuses the body. If we ate 30 olives, we'd feel full, and it would take us a while to digest it. If we had the oil from 30 olives, what's that, a tablespoon? Maybe 2? We wouldn't be that full, and there'd be no fiber and no phytonutrients. It's just oil. The fourth thing I do is I practice body weight fitness. It's nearly equipment free. The only equipment I use basically is some sort of a device that I can pull myself on, whether it's straps or a bar or a piece of furniture or something like that, and a chair occasionally. That's it. So near equipment free, body weight fitness, because I found that equipment free is pretty much excuse free. What else do I do? Oh yes, the fifth thing is interval training. So for instance, the current interval that I'm using is 10 seconds on, 10 seconds rest, back and forth for a total of 12 minutes. And you can use a tablet timer you can download for about $2, maybe $3 off of the internet. And you can just look up tablet timer or gym timer on your smartphone, and you can find a bunch. And they're really quite handy. So those are the 5 things: water, beverage of choice, intermittent fasting, whole food plant-based diet, body weight fitness, interval training. Because I don't have the time or the energy to work out 2 hours a day, so I have to make everything count. But when it comes to, getting back to the original question, ACV water, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to 1 pint of water. I found that to be very detoxifying. One of the things that I had a problem with over the years with veganism was, number 1, not consuming refined foods. Number 2, not consuming sufficient calories. Number 3, eating foods that I had a sensitivity to. When I ate wheat and barley, which I find delicious, I would just bloat out. I would have a beer belly, and my face would get round, and my eyes would get puffy. And when I stopped eating wheat and barley and limited myself to millet or rice, I shrank back down. Well, I noticed that when I began introducing ACV, or apple cider vinegar, to my water, I lost even more puffiness. And it helped me to manage my weight better. Now, obviously, weight is not the be-all, end-all of health. There are many, many slender people who are unhealthy. But you can do some research, you can Google it. Apple cider vinegar has been used as a virtual panacea for at least 3 millennia. And it seems to work really, really well for me. It's a nominal fee. For me, a liter of apple cider vinegar. It'll last me about a week or two. And like anything else, if you can form a habit. You can keep a Pyrex measuring cup, a pint measuring cup on your counter, keep a tablespoon on your counter, keep a quart of apple cider vinegar on your counter. Whenever you empty this bad boy, just put a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in your 2-cup measuring cup. Measure in 16 ounces of water. Pour it into your trusty pint travel container, and that way it's already blended. So that's my rather lengthy answer to, gee, Lama Jigme, what are you drinking during class? If you're curious about the 5-point fitness plan, you can get your hands on it for free. It's on my website. The website's address is located below this video. I produced close to 100 videos on enlightened fitness, where first I will discuss, I will often read from a nutrition book. Second, I would do a guided bodyweight meditation. Bodyweight exercise. And then third, I would do a guided silent meditation. So there's about 100 of those. And some are very brief and businesslike. Some go into great detail about different exercises and different exercise options. It is all there for you, for free. I want everyone to be happy and to be healthy. And it's funny. When I teach a meditation course, the first level, it's about 16 weeks, is all silent. The second, third, and fourth levels combine both the silent and the verbal stuff. One of the things that's taught in the third level is Buddha bowing. And I've said all of that to say this. We have intellectual and emotional needs. We have energetic needs. We have physical needs. And we can meet those needs through silent practice, through the things we do with our mind, the things we do with our mouth, and the things we do with our body. There's nothing spiritual about neglecting our physical, energetic, intellectual, or emotional needs. In fact, if we neglect them, we'll probably hinder ourselves on the path. That's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of celibacy. My lineage is tantric, and that's right, I do practice tantric sex. I practice the kind of tantric sex that you have with a partner. That's called karma mudra. And I also, on occasion, will practice the type of tantric sex we have with an imaginary partner. One is not really there. That's called jhana mudra. I'm not making this stuff up. It's very real. If you get yourselves a copy of the delightful book, Masters of Meditation and Miracles, which is available on Amazon.com, you'll read of many fully ordained Buddhist monks, lamas, who became great saints and teachers, who also practiced karma mudra with a tantric partner, their tantric partner. The individual comes to mind. The two individuals come to mind right now are Kalu Rinpoche and Choki Lodro Khyentse Rinpoche. There are many more. Those are just the two that come to my faulty memory at the moment. So we have needs, and we have to meet those needs. We have physical needs, sexual needs, energetic needs, emotional needs, and intellectual needs. If we don't if we don't meet those needs, it'll bite us in the ass, and no one wants that. I once was considering renting a room in Tijuana, south of the border, and the person who was showing me the property had a very unusual dog, and I kept asking what the dog was doing, and he said, "Oh, he's trying to sneak up behind you to bite your ass." This was not a cuddly canine. Well, just like that cowardly canine wanted to bite my ass, our own foolishness can bite our ass. And it does that quite simply when we don't meet our needs. physical, sexual, energetic, emotional, intellectual needs. It's been my experience that a good spiritual system addresses all those needs. That's one of the reasons why many Buddhist monks do bowing exercises. Now, there's lots of lame reasons. There's superstitious reasons, there's fundamentalist reasons, but as a liberal, I gotta tell you, it feels great. This morning I taught, I led people on 2 guided meditations. I did my own chanting, I did my own silent meditation, and afterwards I was a little tired. So I did some Buddha bowing to, I'm not sure if you can see this, to green Tara. I felt great afterwards. So, long story short, apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and a pint of water. I try to consume 8 of these a day for a total of 1 gallon. It really works well. I want to remind you that the Saturday morning series of classes, whether you're in the greater Los Angeles area and can attend in person or not and can only attend on Skype, will begin the last Sunday of October. So if you're interested, contact me using the links below, and I'll be glad to walk you through the details. Even if you're not interested, you're welcome to write me in the space below, just to send me with your questions or your comments or even just a cyber hug. Friends, I thank you for your time and your kind attention. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Bye-bye.